What's up guys, and welcome to the first video on F1 22. We're going to jump straight in here, go and take a look at my team, see what's changed, what's the same, and everything about the mode. Try and get a few good races done on there against the AI before we start with all the league racing shenanigans in probably about 3 or 4 weeks. So, jumping into my team now, of course the first decision that we have to make is our entry level. So this is new for F1 22. You can take newcomer, which is the standard my team experience starting at the back, or you can start somewhere in the midfield or right up at the front. Now we're going to go with newcomer as probably the most authentic experience. What my team's always kind of been about, working our way up from the back, similar to the guys that joined in 2012 with Marussia, Caterham and HRT. So we're going to basically be the new iteration of one of those guys, see where we get. Now as of now, we're going to just do a full season, see all the changes to the tracks, see how the new cars handle every surface and every circuit. Hopefully we'll be able to do a custom season not too far in the distant future as some of the DLC tracks come out. And obviously we're going to customize a fair few of the settings here, make sure we've got everything where we want it for this career mode. Now the only assist I'm using is that corner line. And then we're going to go with a full qualifying session, long races 50%, keep it similar to where the league racing is going to be, approximate weathers for that little bit of danger and that little bit of uncertainty. Now we're going to increase the frequency of department events. They're always a bit of fun, always make it quite interesting, and I have seen some settings that I think make driver moves a little bit more likely. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase the team acclaim rate for the AI and reduce our own acclaim rate while keeping the AI's default. But in terms of the cash and the resources, we're going to make this as difficult as possible for ourselves, so we get less of everything, the AI get more, and obviously we're having this high fault frequency. We want those engine failures just like the AI get, keep it all fair and above board and nice and equal for everyone when we do get to the point of fighting for championships. Now, once again, we're going to follow some league racing settings here, so we're going to go with strict on the corner cutting. We're going to keep the pit stops on immersive, although I would call them interactive, as you are just pressing that one button, but it isn't something new. Obviously, immersive safety cars, but we are going to increase their frequency just to make it more likely that we do get some safety cars, keep a little bit of uncertainty within the races. If the AI crashes too much, we will change that. Now, as for the AI, well, I have no idea where these drivers sit, where these cars sit. Never driven on this game before, so we'll put it up to 100 where we were before. We'll keep some flashbacks on, just in case we get taken out by the AI. And we are going to run sim damage, which, with how much lower the cars sit this year, I think having sim damage on is going to be very interesting. Just to see how much floor damage we can get, just messing around, seeing what exactly the flashback settings are there. Skip straight across our controller settings. All our audio settings were already set up beforehand. There is obviously the onboard mix that you can change now, deciding how you want it to sound while you're in the car. We'll keep that on cinematic, I think it's probably the best experience. No accessibility options needed, and that should confirm everything we need for our MyTeam. Now, in terms of one of the options you do get in MyTeam, it's obviously the MyTeam icons. Drivers from history, so we're going to keep those on, see who the new icons are, exactly how they compare to the drivers currently on the grid, and maybe once you build up a little bit, we can try and sign one or more of those. So that's all our settings complete. Let's get straight in to this My Team career mode and see how far we can get and just how bad the car is to begin with. Probably awful. It has been the last 2 years.
Here you'll experience the world of Formula 1, not only as a driver, but as the owner of a brand new F1 team. First things first, let's create your driver.
Now I've already done most of the work in terms of my driver's profile, so let's just change the country there. Let's type in a name, and as you'll see, this isn't really a name that you're probably going to find in the audio names, so I'm going to have to mess around with that a little bit, see if I can find something that's at least close. One thing I do want to point out that I noticed while doing the customization, choosing my audio name, is the Mix Monaco title. So that's, I think, a great sign from Codemasters and EA, and a shout out to all of our non-binary drivers. You don't have to be male or female to enjoy this game. Well, you don't have to be straight, you can be gay, trans, whatever you want to be. But I think for me, the name I like the look of the most, the one I'm going to choose as my audio name for this, is Epiphany.
Epiphany!
It's just a cool name, and something that I think is going to be very enjoyable to hear when I'm dead last. In terms of driver number, what I would normally take is 27, but with Nico Hulkenberg being one of the F1 icons in this year's game, I'm kind of stuck to choosing my second number, which is number 90. So that's going to be my driver all set out as we get into some of the slightly deeper
on your driver's look.
slightly deeper customization options. Now, the one thing I did notice as well for anybody that has played F1 21, which I imagine is most of you, the loyalty helmet and race suit and car livery don't appear to be available in MyTeam as of yet. So I did design those and obviously put my colours in and things like that, but I can't choose that livery, unfortunately, or the helmet or the race suit. As we mess about a little bit with this helmet, I do quite like this one. I think the purple really stands out there. So let's choose a race suit and some gloves to match with those. I want sort of black to be my secondary colour and probably white to be the tertiary. But I feel like there's just too much white on this suit whichever way around you try it. Either all of your legs and your underarms and everything are all white, or if you try sort of the secondary colour option, it makes your hat white and it makes all of your shoulders white, and I really do want those black. I think they just fit way better with the sort of aesthetic that I'm going for. And I also really like this copy colours option that you've got as well, so you don't have to remember the code that you've put in every time. You can just say, yep, this one, this purple, this matches, everything looks the same then. And of course the arms folded pose, the one I've always gone for. The hammer time though, that dance onto the podium, I really like that. That's new, and I think it's subtle enough that it's not, you know, ridiculous. As for the radio calls,
You guys gotta trust me. I'm taking you to battle, yeah?
some of the new ones are kind of cool.
Nice! It's very nice!
I think that's my personal favourite, and the podium pass one
Peanut butter jelly time! Peanut butter jelly time! Woo!
is going to be absolutely everywhere in League Racing, so I hope everybody's going to get used to that one quite quickly.
Great. Now let's set up some of the key details of your new team. We'll start with an easy one. What name would you like to give the team?
So I think here we're just going to start with something pretty simple. Let's just go with Zeke Motorsport. Well, we might start incorporating some sponsors and
Now,
things
some kind of income stream is critical, so we need to sign a primary sponsor.
as we get
Our
further down
primary
the career
sponsor
mode.
will pay a signing bonus to the team up front. This is vital to cover the early investments we need to make. They will also provide valuable weekly income for us. Each sponsor has a goal they want the team to achieve. If we hit that goal, the sponsor will pay us an additional gold bonus.
Now, in terms of the sponsors, obviously you've got several options in terms of the difficulty level, the weekly income, and the signing bonus. I think we're going with the low cash flow option that we have chosen to try and make career mode a little bit harder for ourselves. I think the obvious choice here has to be Xenon. Not only is the logo really cool, and therefore it's going to look pretty good on the car, and it's going to stand out quite well. It gives you the biggest signing bonus and the highest weekly income, so that's really going to help with our sort of low cash flow at the start of this career mode before we start getting
Now we've got a budget
more
to
sponsors
work
on board.
with. Our car won't be going anywhere fast without a power unit. So let's sign a power unit supplier now. We need both performance and durability from our power unit, but we also need to balance the books. We're going to have a lot of other areas to invest our cash into.
Now, in terms of the power unit supplier, obviously the Renault's pretty terrible, but it is quite cheap, but I don't think that's the most important thing. We need performance in the car, and I'm not happy with 83 and 82. Similar for the Red Bull, the 90 performance is pretty good, but I think that 81 durability is just too low. I don't want to have 5 or 6 engine failures in a season, and I definitely think this Ferrari with 97 durability is getting nerfed. Charles Leclerc would like a word with Codemasters about that. So I think we're just going to go with a nice little middle ground with the Mercedes AMG. 90 performance, 90 durability. It should be quick enough as well as being reliable enough that we actually finish the majority of our races. Obviously we've got those full faults on, so we could have full engine failures.
We
Want to
almost
avoid
have all
those.
the key partners for our team now, but we still need a teammate for you. These are the drivers available to be your first teammate. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses, so consider everything when deciding who to hire. Drivers earn acclaim based on their performances. When a driver earns enough acclaim, they will level up. The higher a driver's level, the more acclaim they will earn for their current team. And remember, the faster the team levels up, the faster our income will increase. The higher a driver's experience, the more resource points are earned to spend on vehicle upgrades. Racecraft is the driver's skill to effectively complete overtakes when opportunities arise. Awareness shows the driver's ability to avoid errors and incidents. Pace describes the driver's ability to set competitive lap times. Focus represents the driver's current form and state of mind. Rating is a summary of the driver's overall skill level.
Now, of course, the only options we have here as a newcomer team to start our MyTeam journey are some F2 drivers, so they're not going to be up to the same level as the guys on the F1 grid. However, saying that, there is obviously differences between these guys as well. Now, the experience is obviously the thing that's going to affect resource point gain during qualifying, so I think we want to avoid the guys that are low on the experience. And I don't think Dan Ticktum, who is the most expensive driver it offered us, is worth the extra $200,000 over somebody like Marcus Armstrong. So he's 65 rated, which is the second highest out of the drivers they've offered us. He's got that 34 experience, which is going to be more useful, I think, than having a slightly lower awareness. In terms of getting us resource points, we're not expecting to score many points this season. We're not really expecting Marcus to score any, to be completely honest. Unless something crazy
Looks
happens.
like we can afford this power unit supplier and teammate. Go ahead and confirm if you're happy.
So I think we'll go with all that, have a budget of $500,000 to begin with after we've signed our deal with Mercedes and signed up Marcus Armstrong to be our second driver for this Season 1 of MyTeam.
Let's create the livery we'll be running this season. We can add more sponsors to the cars we signed them throughout the year. And don't worry, we can edit our look at any time from HQ.
Now, in terms of the livery, a lot of these new liveries I actually really like. I think they fit very well with the new sort of flowing shape and lines of the car. But once again, the loyalty livery is not one that you have an option to. So I think this Stinger one that kind of matches our race suit as well is probably the one I'm going to go for. As I say, I had already made one with the loyalty. So now it's just messing about, seeing where we go with the colours with that purple and black combination. I don't really know where this third colour sits, so that's why I made it this blue colour to try and spin the car around, try and find it. I never did, so drop a comment if you know where this colour exists on the car, because I actually have no idea. It seems to be completely non-existent. And obviously you've got the new paint finish options, so there are 4. You've got your gloss paint, which is kind of what the standard default was beforehand. You've got matte, like we've got this purple now, which is really going to pop in the night races and really kind of stand out against the metallic black that we've gone on top. I'll make this second purple satin just so we can see it if it appears at any time, as it really stands out as a very different kind of colour coat. Extremely shiny, this is the satin paint. Obviously, we can add our sponsors as we go further down. I think I'll go with a bit of engineered insanity on the inside
Last
of the
but
halo.
not least, we need to consider our brand, our badge, and team colors.
Again with the badge, I had already created one, and I'll be completely honest, I kind of didn't see the copy from another design button right away to begin with, but I think we're just going to copy that across now. Keeps with the purple and the black, and I quite like the sort of the cutout box
Great, that's
styles.
everything we need. You can go back and edit anything we've done so far, and we'll come back here at the start of each season. But if you're ready to go, hit advance to head to Team HQ, and we can start our push to the top of Formula 1.
So I did forget team colours. I will address that after we get through the rest of our team setup, and after we have our little interview that we're going to have now with Will Buxton.
Hello folks, and welcome to this, a very special edition of Paddock Pass. We're here at the headquarters of Formula One's newest team for an exclusive first look at what they will be bringing to the sport. It's always an exciting moment to welcome a new team onto the grid. However, what makes this occasion a little more special is how strikingly different the cars are this year. Yep, the long-awaited new regulations are finally here, and with them, the start of the next era of Formula One. The 2022 season ushers in a change of direction to the regulations aimed at promoting closer racing, with new aero additions in the form of swooping front and rear wings, along with the new eye-catching 18-inch low-profile tyres that will push tyre technology to the limit. So then, the question remains as to whether this team can grasp the opportunity before them with both hands and lead the charge against the rest of the paddock. We'll find out soon enough, as the new season is just about to begin. But first, let's see the unveiling of the team's car and meet the owner of the brand new Formula One team. Well, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us here today. It's been wonderful to see behind the scenes. As you might expect, I've got about 1 million questions, so let's jump straight in. It's been a long time since we last saw a team owner take their own car onto the track, and the sport's changed enormously in the intervening years. How are you going to handle the responsibilities of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
Well, I won't lie, Will. It has been a lot of work, and there's even more to come. But I wouldn't have taken on the task if I didn't believe in myself and my team.
Let's talk about your teammate. Now, it's clear they're excited to have signed with you, but tell me, what is it that you think they bring to the team?
Well, it was about finding the right fit for our team. They understand that we're new and appreciate the opportunity that we're providing. And we couldn't sign anyone better.
So you've obviously been putting a lot of work into the car. I know it's early days, but how do you expect it to feel out there?
So this is where the questions start leading into your starting car, start affecting where you begin in terms of the unlocks you already have and in terms of your facilities as well. So we're going to give a chassis answer here, say the chassis balance is incredible, which is going to help improve the chassis side of the car, which in my opinion at least is the most important part of this car. The weight reduction upgrades you get within the chassis department benefit the car in every possible way.
Most of the other teams can boast years of experience in Formula One. Where do you see the opportunities to make those vital performance gains you need to put you within reach of the other cars?
Here we're going to look at a small downforce upgrade, try and get some of that in there just to help the car out a little bit in getting around those initial corners.
Ultimately, your success this season is going to come down to whether you can take positions from the other drivers. What is it about your car that's going to give you that edge in those battles?
Well, we've developed an incredibly light car, which helps both top speed and through the corners.
And finally, with so many specialist departments working together here at your headquarters, and with such an important deadline coming up, who's getting that coveted Teacher's Gold Star? Which group do you feel the most proud of right now?
The attention to detail that the chassis department has had an inspiration to the whole team.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to get an insight from you and, of course, to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it. And thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
So that's going to wrap it up for this episode 0 of MyTeam, getting everything set up, getting all our career settings right. So remember, subscribe to get notifications for the next video, leave a like if you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again for the next video, round 1 at Bahrain.